Hey guys, it's Tuesday, and you know what that means. Roll the thing. That's right, it's New Release Tuesday, and I'm not Liz, as you can see. I'm Jeffrey. As the holidays are rolling around, it seems like fewer and fewer, actually, books are coming out. And, you know, that's sad. But January is coming up soon, and there's a lot of books coming out in January. So if I were you, I would save all the money that you get for Christmas and put it towards books that are coming out in the new year. The first two books I have for you today are for all you fantasy fans out there. First up is Fallen Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes, which very well might be the next big YA fantasy series. This book follows four young people, probably teenagers since it's a young adult book, that live in a land where magic once existed, but has since been long forgotten. So there's no magic in this land, and the three kingdoms that are there in this land are fighting for power. The four protagonists are Chloe, Lucia, Magnus, and Jonas. Chloe is a princess who is on a journey to find this long-lost magic. Jonas is living in poverty, but he's a rebel who is fighting this oppressive nature that the kingdoms are putting on his people, and in turn is accidentally becoming the leader of this rebel uprising. Lucia is a girl who was adopted by a royal family when she was a baby, and she discovers the truth about her past and her supernatural destiny. So what could that be? I'm intrigued. And lastly, the fourth guy is Magnus, and he is like a fighter, and he's bred to be like aggressive. Somehow the fates of these four people who are seemingly random in the lives of each other intertwine like that, and stuff happens. But I'm sure with all three of these kingdoms fighting for power, two of them are going to fall at some point, and one of them is going to win, succeed, something. And I'm sure these four protagonists are going to play some sort of role in that. So, sounds interesting. I want to read this book. I don't know about you, but this sounds like a really epic fantasy, like literally epic. And it just sounds like all the best parts of A Song of Ice and Fire series, but with teen protagonists all the time. If you love fantasy stories, or have just not yet picked up a fantasy book because you didn't think you'd like it, this might be the one to try. It just sounds really good. This next one is a mixture of fantasy and fairy tale. Princess of the Silverwood by Jessica Day George is a twist on the Red Riding Hood and Robin Hood stories. Red Riding Hood? Petunia, the youngest daughter of King Gregor, is sent to visit a friend in a neighboring country. On her way there, she has to pass through this forest, woods, full of trees area, where there's rumored to be wolves. But not just any wolves. Wolves that are two-legged, meaning bipedal, like humans. Werewolves, maybe. Like Robin Hood, these wolves are intent on stealing from the wealthy, noble people that travel through the woods, pass through their territory. There's a few more things in the summary that seemed like they would kind of be spoilery, so I didn't want to mention them here, but if you want to read the full summary, I left a link for the Goodreads down below, so check it out, and if you think it's spoilery, tell me, but I didn't want to say it just in case. But it sounds awesome. I really like fantasy and classic fairy tales, so twisting them together and making them work good symbiotically, I like it. I want to read it. What do you think about it? Lastly, we have Love and Other Perishable Items by Laura Buzo. I think that's how you say her name? Buzo? Buzo. Now this one I believe was first published back in 2010 in Australia under the name Good Oil, but Knopf Book for Young Readers bought the US distribution rights, so now we Americans can get our little hands on it to read. The story is about a girl named Amelia who falls in love with a guy named Chris when she sees him for the first time, but not like insta-love. It's more like, you know, when you see someone and you're attracted to them and you just want to know what it is, what they're like, and you want to be with them, at least talking to them and stuff. That's kind of how this is, except she has a crush on him. But the thing is, Chris is 21 and Amelia is only 15, so that's a little awkward. But they work together at the same supermarket, and while working together, they become close and friends and stuff. They swap life stories, talk about their favorite classic books and B-roll movies, etc. And over time, it starts to seem like Amelia's crush isn't so one-sided after all. Aww. It's a story of firsts. First love, first job, first party, and first hangover. It's a coming-of-age story. This is one contemporary book that I can't wait to read. And that does it for New Release Tuesday, my edition. What books are you reading this week? Are you gonna add any of these to your to-read list? I know I am. They sound interesting. If you are, let me know in the comments. I know I'm not as good as Liz at this whole thing, but she'll be back next week, so throw confetti, celebrate, can't wait. Rhymes. Goodbye for now.